But first, it's back to the Isle of Man and the start here at Douglas, leading the 120 cars away. The favourite, Phil Collins and Robbie Philpott. Co-driver Robbie Philpott now takes us through the first special stage.
3 left over crest, down to turn 6 right, 100. Long absolute right, 100. Flat right, up to crest, 50, turn narrow, 6 left. 50. Care, cut, 6 left. 800.
So that was Robbie Philpott taking you around the very narrow lanes here in the Isle of Man. Actually leading the rally after the first 2 special stages was Manx driver Gary Leese. Unfortunately, after 2 special stages, his Cosworth cried enough and he would be out of the rally, leaving Phil Collins and Robbie Philpott with their number 3 Sierra in the lead. Chris Mellors was hoping for a good rally as well. He was well up in the Mintex Rally Championship Series. Unfortunately, he was going very slowly due to serious brake problems early on. Not the sort of things you need around these very tight Manx lanes. Not so number 4, the leader of the Mintex Championship, the Mazda 323 of John Weatherby and Mike Corner. Although they also suffered from brake problems, at least reliability seemed to be on their side. They would be 6th after the first stage. Trevor Smith is another driver who was hoping to gain those valuable championship points aboard his number 5 Ford Sierra Cosworth. Even if Phil Collins would go on and win these Manx stages, as he wasn't registered for the championship, it would have very little bearing on the championship itself, of course. So the battle very much on between Trevor Smith and, of course, James Weatherby with that Mazda, who leads the series. Driving the number 6 Mitsubishi Starion is the Japanese driver Hideaki Miyoshi. Now, Miyoshi is normally seen driving a Mitsubishi Galant VR4. Unfortunately, he went off the road rather heavily on the recent Fram Welsh Rally. So the only car available for him was this rather heavy Mitsubishi Starion. Our camera, rather bravely, was mounted in the front headlight, giving you, well, all the action around this Manx National Rally circuit. The heavy steering would mean that Miyoshi would be well down the leaderboard. Even so, he found the very narrow tracks here around the Isle of Man something of a challenge. As we said before, we felt we were pretty brave to put our onboard camera right in the front of the Mitsubishi. Something that almost cost this company a great deal of money. Going, just about saved. After that, Miyoshi had, unfortunately, more gearbox problems which ultimately would cause his retirement. Winner of the opening round of this Mintex Championship was the number 7 Lancia Delta Integrale of the Finnish driver Mika Solberg. Unfortunately, he found that the suspension was far too hard for the twists and bumps of the Manx roads. No such problems for Phil Collins and Robbie Philpott aboard the number 2 Sierra Cosworth. After 4 special stages, they'd be leading the event by almost 3/4 of a minute.
2 left into 2 right. And flat right, 50. Care, 4 left over bump into 3 right. And 1 left down into 2 left, 30. Long 2 left opens and crest into 2 left over crest. And crest into 2 left over crest, 50. Caution 2 left over bump, 30 narrow, 7 right. And 6 right, 30. 2 left, 30 narrow, 5 left.
You wouldn't think that it's been some 18 months since Phil Collins drove a rally car competitively. After the first half-dozen stages, a total of 15 stages, of course, to be run on this Manx Rally, in 4th place, Ian Robertson with his Ford Sierra. He had a huge moment on special stage 1. He says he was saved by the carbon metallic brake pads. Unfortunately, after 9 special stages, he would lose the turbo boost and retire from the rally. But Trevor Smith would still be in second place with his Ford Sierra, although he was some way down, of course, on leader Phil Collins. Nevertheless, this would do the championship aspirations of young Mr. Smith no harm whatsoever. But this is the man who, of course, leads the series, the Mazda 323 of John Weatherby. Slowly but surely, he was climbing into the top 4 positions. With fast, open stages on the Manx National, as well as those very tight ones, there was action aplenty. Steve Hill almost overshooting. And he just about saves it, although no doubt flat spots his tyres. But nothing could stop Phil Collins. Despite having an enormous advantage, he was still pressing on regardless. Behind him, all hell was breaking loose. Hell especially for Trevor Smith. Right up until the very last stage, he'd been in second place. But then, disaster. Almost within sight of the finish, the engine would cry enough in the Cosworth as you saw a puff of smoke, and he would retire from second place, elevating to second place number 4. John Weatherby had come to the Manx National hoping to pick up some points. He never dreamed that he'd finish in second place. Steve Hill looked to be finishing in third place, but he also had problems, so it was Tim Hill and Paul Spooner in the number 27 Ford Sierra that would finish in that third spot. Fourth place, number 17, Ian Donaldson and Richard Taylor, coming in just behind the Ford Sapphire of Tim Hill. A marvellous fifth place, the little Peugeot of John Milner and Chris Wood. Another major disappointment was that Mike Rimmer, who was going exceptionally well with his BMW M3 as high as third place, would also be another late retirement. But no thoughts of retirement for this man. Phil Collins and Robbie Philpott win the Manx National Rally by almost 5 minutes from John Weatherby. Weatherby obviously a delighted man to increase his lead in the Mintex National Rally Championship Series. But for the man who returns to rallying for the first time in 18 months, Phil Collins, well, he's delighted.